Hi, it's Pastor Paul L. Anderson here at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, where we believe God's blessings never stop flowing. We're here today on this terrific Tuesday. We thank God for the wonderful ways He's blessing us. I hope you've gotten all your shopping done. I hope you bought all the gifts that you want for all of your family members and friends. Do know if you try to mail it today, it's not going to get there in time. I do hope and pray that you'll know that God always has a special delivery for you, and that is His Word on a daily basis. And I'm so grateful to be able to share some of that with you on today. Please look with me into Romans, the 8th chapter, verses 18 through 30. I want to talk about God's future glory. And in this pericope, we'll find out it is that famous verse that so many of us quote, and that is Romans 8 and 28. And we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to His purpose. What a powerful text. And this text, it begins to help all of us understand and remind ourselves that God brings about a cohesion. He brings about a glue. He brings about a quote unquote, a sticking together of all things in our lives, because He's going to work out His ultimate good in it. That means in the good times, the bad times, He's working for our ultimate good. Times in which we clearly see, times in which things look blurry, He's working it out for our good. But in the first portion of the text, it begins to talk about how God has so much planned for us and how God adopts us. But how God, when He allows things to come and how He allows us to be able to come forth as He would have us, it's almost with the same kind of anticipation of a woman who's expecting a child. She's carried the child for all of these months. She has great anticipation. And then when it comes for the moment of childbirth is great pain. But the pain can never be erased. The pain will definitely be so agonizing. But after the baby is delivered, you say, oh, what the joys. Too oftentimes, my brothers and sisters, we find ourselves being carried by God, all the things that He would have us to do. And then the moment when God is about to birth us, the moment in which God is about to allow us to see what He really wants us to be, there's great pain. The pain of saying, oh, do I really want to do this? You know, in this life, the Bible reminds us there will be some pains. But the glorious truth of it is that even in the midst of our pains, in the midst of our sorrows, God is there with us. And if He is there with us, it's going to be all right. Now, I know there's pain in many of our lives when we begin to think about this being the first Christmas when their loved one is not there. This being the first Christmas when some of us can't go home. But remind ourselves what it was like last year. Last year, about this time, we did not have a vaccine for many of us. About this time last year, we found ourselves dealing with a virus, dealing with a pandemic, and still dealing with a pandemic. But we have to remind ourselves that God is going to work things out together so we will see the ultimate good that He has from it. Oh, the writer of this text of Romans, of Paul, how he writes to us, and he reminds us that God's ultimate good will come out of everything, and He mixes it all together. Just think about it. Have you ever baked a cake? And you think about all the things that are involved. Guess what? When you make a cake, you got to get an egg. Where did that egg come from? Good question. It came from a chicken. Where did that chicken come from? That's another good question. Just think about all the things that are involved in the end products that you and I see. And sometimes we can't even do the iterations of our mind of all the things that are involved before you get the end product. It's the same way with God. There's so much involved in all of us, how God is working on the scene, behind the scenes, and around the scenes to help it all come together, to be the wonderful presentation that He would have it to be. The text is so true because God loved us so. He knew in advance what we were dealing with and what we would go through. And He says, I want you to see the future glory that's going to come out of all of this. Beloved, do know that God is at work in you and He's at work around you, and just let Him have His way and be patient and trust Him and all that will happen as you and I get ready to celebrate Christmas. Let's celebrate the greatness of God happening all around you. And then we can tell the world that I am so happy that I know this Savior, and His name is Jesus the Christ. May the Lord bless you and heaven smile upon you, and remind yourself always that you're exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and I will see you on tomorrow.
To sow a seed to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, visit our newly redesigned website, thefountainofraleigh.org, and select Sow a Seed from the homepage. Also, giving has been made easier with the new Fountain of Raleigh app, available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Download today, select Giving from the main menu, and then follow the directions to complete your giving through Subsplash.
Thank you so very much for all of your gifts and donations that you've given to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. We thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and what you will do in the future. Your gifts and donations helps us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only locally, but throughout the world. Thank you again for your gifts, and may God continue to richly bless you. It is here at the Fountain that we believe that we are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and may you receive those blessings that God has in store for you.